Hey, everybody, welcome to the Hire My Team. Start that again. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Hire My VA. What? What?
Nothing. We have a blooper reel.
I know. Daff, you can add this to the end. Whatever. Have some fun. All right, here we go. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Hire My VA Team and Business Building Podcast, where we help you to reclaim your freedom through hiring and thriving with virtual assistants without breaking the bank, without breaking your bank. And I'm Dave Braun. I'm here with my partner, great friend, Larry Broughton. To bring
Hello,
another
David.
Episode. Hey,
how are
Larry.
you, sir?
Excellent. Good to see you again.
You too. Thank you very much. It's been a great week. How you doing?
Excellent. We're getting a lot of these episodes here.
Well, there's a lot of questions.
I know. All right. You ready to get to the next one?
Sure. Let's do it. It's a good one.
All right. Question that we've gotten from the community. What happens if I find a VA, a virtual assistant, then say in a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, I find a better VA than my current one? Is it okay to let go of my current VA and then, of course, to replace with the new VA? What say ye?
All right. My gut reaction is this feels a little bit like high school. All right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm dating you until the next person comes along. Come on. If you've only had somebody working with you for 2 weeks, do you really know? Now, I say this oftentimes, with generally the first 48 to 72 hours, whether the person you've hired is a good hire. But I believe as leaders, we have a responsibility to develop these people. Yeah. Put yourself in their shoes. Okay. You hired somebody and then 2 weeks later, somebody else comes along. Well, two things. How do you know that the person that you hired isn't a rock star? Generally 2 weeks, maybe it's a month. You don't know unless you've really invested in them that they're not going to make it. I think I've shared this story in the masterminds before, but I'll say it really quickly here. Years ago at my former company, we had hired a CFO. This woman interviewed so well. She was a friggin' rock star, right? I won't bore everybody with all the details, but after just a few days, I started hearing from some of our general managers that she was a freaking tyrant and rude and condescending, right? Yeah, exactly. And so I ended up having a meeting with her. Well, we ended up cutting her loose within just a matter of a few daws, right? Because that went against one of our core values. And she actually admitted, this is who I am. These people are idiots. Like, you've been here for 3 days, you're calling people idiots. All right, we're cutting you loose. Sometimes you do know, but oftentimes you don't know within the first 2 weeks what somebody's real potential is, right? But how do you know that the other person that you've just met isn't like the CFO person that I talked about who interviewed really well? You don't know. My point is, give people a chance. If you've decided that you're going to hire these people, and if you really have gone through the prepare and hire process that we lay out in this program, the likelihood is, now there's going to be times when you're right, you're going to hire somebody that's not going to work, but the likelihood is they're a pretty good candidate. Okay. But one of the things, a similar question came up in one of our last calls, Dave, is try the second person out, the person we haven't hired, give them a project to test it out. All right. To see how are they going to be. But I'm not a big fan of hiring somebody and then 2 weeks later, because somebody prettier came along, throwing one to the curb and bringing the other person on. Unless the first one you hired, you absolutely compromised and you knew it was a compromise because you weren't finding the right candidate. Okay.
That's a very good scenario to bring up in case you've been looking for a while and you needed help and you think the person wasn't the right candidate, but they're helping get you by.
Yeah.
And then you're pretty sure that somebody better comes along, right?
Yeah.
Now, so I mean, that makes sense, right? Because, our business, they're not charities, right? Our business isn't charities. We've got to have the best people on their team. So there may be times when you do need to do this.
Sure.
But you've really got to be careful because, you don't know the new person that you hire, you get rid of the old one, that new person, like you said, may not work out, or they may be better in the short run, but maybe not in the long run. as well.
Yeah. 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 It's
And
very interesting. Like a lot of you folks know my assistant, Melissa. She interviewed 2 years. Was it 2 years? I think it was 2 years or I don't know, a few years
yeah,
prior to me actually hiring her the second time. She was part of the job pool of when I was looking similar a couple years before. And I knew she looked familiar when she walked in the door for this interview. She said, "Oh yeah, I interviewed the last time you were looking for somebody." And now, whatever it is, 6 years later, she's still with me. Right. So sometimes, yes, you're going to make a mistake with a hiring process. My point is, don't use this as a pattern. Don't turn this into a pattern that you don't do the hard work. What we say in our organizations, Dave, and you know this, slow to hire, quick to fire.
right.
Okay. Don't be too quick to hire. If you don't know, give it a little bit more time. Okay. Give it a little more time if you really don't find the right person.
Yeah. I can tell you, a really good approach that if this does happen to you is, this is one of the reasons why we really advocate, hiring from the Philippines. Partly that is because of the cost, but there's great expertise there. So what happened in my team is that a former virtual assistant of mine became available because the company that he's working for kind of shut down, and it just wasn't working out for him. So I'm like, we need to offer a new service. So I kind of created a new role for that person. I didn't let my current one VA go, but what we ended up doing is creating a new role for this new person. So that's definitely a possibility, because if you're finding somebody talented out there that's available, especially from the Philippines, it doesn't cost you that much to bring them on board. And I'll guarantee you that you are going to find a role for them. You're going to they're going to be able to help you get to the next level in your business, because you may need to offer a new product or service. They'll help you develop it.
Well, with the guy you're talking about, it was a revenue generating role that you created.
Yes.
Revenue generating.
Exactly.
Right. And it created time for you as well. Right.
Oh yeah.
That's a great scenario right there.
Yeah. In fact, ever since I hired, and he came back and jumped in and did some stuff. Ever since he came back to our team, I've been a lot more relaxed.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
And so it's been awesome, So, and then the other thing I think we want to make sure that you, as an employer, as an executive, whatever, you need to think about what's best for your business. Don't look so much right now. Look for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. Look for the long term. What is going to end up being the best for you?
Sure. That's a good one. Good.
So yeah, be careful. Really think through if you're going to get rid of, a current VA that you just hired, because you definitely don't want your business to have a reputation, because people do talk. Even Philippines has a lot of people, but people will definitely talk. In fact, here's a scenario that happened to me, is that I ended up that my second hire was for this developer virtual assistant. She was amazing. She was awesome in the interview, knew everything, communicated great. And then all of a sudden, once she was hired, she started disappearing and not communicating. So within 2 weeks, I had to let her go. Well, guess what? A couple years down the road, when I opened up another spot, guess who applied? That same person, right? So we think that, there's millions of people there, and there are, but sometimes the communities that you're looking for can get pretty small, and word can travel. So be careful too.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Any other thoughts?
No, that's good.
All right. That was a good one. Well, thank you folks for joining us today and being part of, the weekly and the podcast that we do. It's really a pleasure that Larry and I have to talk to you about some of these things, because we really feel like building a team is the best way to reclaim your freedom, so that you can, obviously be free, but that you can build a legacy and have significance. Sure. And we want to help you with that. So, come join our course and community. Go to HireMyVA.com and check out everything that we've got there. But also, if you're already familiar with that and you've done it, we ask you to do 3 things right now. Number 1, subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already done so. And then number 2, give us a rating. That will really help us. And then the next, of course, is, like I said, go to HireMyVA.com and get more information, because we've got a great course and a great community that's
Yeah.
doing a lot of amazing stuff, because we want to help you guys so that even without experience, you'll know how to prepare for, hire, and thrive with virtual assistants. Larry and I are continuing to help folks. We love it. So just go to HireMyVA.com for more information.
Yeah, folks, and do yourself a favor. Do the world a favor. Go do something significant today. All right, my friends, God bless you. God keep you. God hold you. All right, go get them, friends.
All right. Take care, everybody.
See ya.